everybody, thanks for watching. And just a quick reminder, Ancient History Volume 5 is now available, as well as Mystery School Volume 6. Definitely check those out. So now, we had the election come and go, and many people getting into the whole conflict of voting or not voting, stuff I touched about on Facebook and Instagram, and got into a pretty good debate on that topic. And really, you still have a lot of people talking about the subject, and a lot of people having questions about what should we do. How do we get our foot in the positions of government and rise to a point where we can actually do something to help our people out if we don't vote. If we don't vote people in, how are we going to, do anything to change our situation? And this is due to a lot of, misconceptions and ignorance, on a lot of people's part, not really understanding how things work, especially in the world of politics. So, one, you got to remember, we've been voting for a long time. We fought hard to vote. And it's one of the reasons why segregation, desegregation had to happen. Because anytime you have a people that's willing to be beaten and, killed for their right to do something, vote. This is a powerful people. This is people you have to stop. And it's not going to be by force. So it was psychological, and desegregation was a major part of it, and getting people to basically forget, us as a whole, us being united as black people and having this common goal. We was together, and it was about, black power and fighting against the evil white man, until they said, okay, you can basically come live where we live. You can do what we do. And we was like, oh. And we forgot about, who we are. We forgot about that bond, that unity, in exchange for trying to fit in. And this is basically, what took place during that part. But, getting into the voting part and understanding how that works, and remembering, one, we had elected to the so-called highest seat in office, black president. We'll get much better than that. People came out, voted. We got Obama elected not once but twice. He did absolutely nothing. That should be enough for people right there, that we got that one shot to finally put a black looking face in the highest seat possible. The top job in America, in the world, people would say, being an American president. Nothing for us. Except, as I said, we've seen more black people killed during the Obama administration. More black people killed by cops during his 2 terms than black people was killed by cops in the 50s, 60s, and 70s combined. And you got to think about that. He did nothing. More was done to support gay and lesbian and LGBT rights than innocent black people, with a black president being in office. So voting is like, if you didn't know then, you should know by now. Now, 2, do you honestly believe it's going to be that easy for us to, trust the process, to vote a black person in, or vote black people in to positions within government, that they could actually do something that's going to benefit black people as a whole and allow us to surpass white America in wealth and power? Do you think everything these people have done over the last few hundred years, they would allow this to happen because of some votes? I mean, come on. People are not really being practical when they ask these questions, and people forgetting history, and forgetting who we're talking about here, and the power these people have and what they're willing to do to keep it. Now, more than that, you have to just simply look at the fact that, one, you have these corporations running the government. These same people that are in positions of power within government own some of the major corporations, or have pieces, friends who own some of the most powerful corporations in America and the world. These people have special interest groups to help with their special interest, to do things, that's going to keep them in power, keep us out of power, suppressed, oppressed. Plain and simple. So the fact that you got these major corporations that can contribute billions of dollars to keep their interests at the highest point in government, to keep their interests heard, and keep their agenda going. What do we have that can rival that to benefit the black interest? What black people want? Point to it. There's nothing. So your rich black folks, your entertainers and athletes are owned by who? Them. So come on. So you honestly think you're going to vote and somehow magically everything is going to change for us? So again, to answer that question, I understand it's a legitimate question to basically have and to ask. If we're going to move up somewhere in power in this government, shouldn't we vote? And the answer is still no, because they're not going to let that happen. This is chess. Again, it's strategic. And to even qualify, to even get into the game, we got to have the economic power to make the moves. We don't have that. So we're basically at the lowest point. And you have to couple that with society and how we look at things. You have homeless. This is where we are at on a political scale. Homeless. You have the homeless, you have the poor, you have, lower middle class, upper middle class, rich, wealthy, so on and so forth. We are poor, homeless, at the lowest point. This is where we are as a people, as far as being on that scale of, implementing any kind of real economics, as a people. We're homeless. So we're not going to be heard, just like we don't listen to them homeless people on the street. What do we get as, black people in this society? Handouts, benefits, food stamps. Here you go. Poor people, homeless people, take the food stamps. Okay, you could do little odd jobs here and there to make some money. Don't give you minimum wage. It's the same type of situation you see from homeless people. You get food, crumbs. You got to go dig in the trash, work hard, and break your back to get enough. Collect 100,000 cans just to get $100. We're at that level. So in order for homeless people to do anything, when you think about it, they should come together and figure a way out. Same thing with us, but we don't do that. They don't do that. It's a mindset. So to get to that point to where we can even begin to try to put somebody in the seat of power, which we wouldn't go that route anyway. But if we were to try to, we don't have the money in the back end to push him up there. We don't have the corporations and the companies to basically have, special interests and to control lobbyists to go and lobby for what we want as a people. We don't have that. It's non-existent. And it's like people are still not getting this. So what they have effectively done, again, is, okay, one, you got to contemplate, since we all agree, oppression is going on. We agree on that. We agree that they have weapons and they're doing things and implementing things that's keeping black people back. Since we all agree on that, you have to then ask yourself, well, wouldn't one of the weapons be to ensure, one of the things that has to be crucial to their plan is to make sure black people do not support their own. Plain and simple. So what they have done effectively is they basically have created an emotion for hate. Plain and simple. And I mean that in the sense as we as black people have an emotion when it comes to the success of our people and how we observe it, how we deal with it. It's a hate emotion to where now, not supporting black people, it's like a feeling. When you see a black person doing good, it's a feeling that comes over you of you don't want that, of hate, some type of emotion. It's like, what the hell is that? Why do I feel some type of way about this person being successful? And we can't even fathom it. It's just you got hate. Plain and simple. You don't like to see it. And you couple that with culture, this hip hop culture of these rich black people teasing us about the stuff they, what they have. I got cars, I got clothes. You couple that, and it's an emotion that has been created within us when we see black success. that we don't want to support it. Not everybody has it, of course, but majority of black folks do. And of course, they would have to ensure that exists, because if we had the level of unity that we had back in the 60s, 50s, or what have you, today when we are doing well and having more money and more buying power as the people, then we would choose to spend the money with our own people and we would basically be on top. So it is imperative, it is important that they create that emotion of hate and that emotion of not supporting within us so that we don't. Not just that, to just make it even more hard for a person to get in a position to even receive support from his people. So to become an entrepreneur, plain and simple. So what people don't realize is when they have this hate and when they don't support, when people walk around saying, I don't support black business, this and that, you are effectively destroying the black entrepreneurial spirit. Plain and simple. Forget the spirit, the reality. Plain and simple, you're killing it, and you're killing your own children's future of being an entrepreneur, and yours as well. Because what happens is when you have this emotion of hate, what you are basically ensuring is that, one, you stay a slave, because you don't have the feeling of being an entrepreneur and being your own boss. You have an emotion that work is everything, and I should keep working for this white man. Because if you didn't have that hate, if you felt like you should support black businesses, then you wouldn't feel that type of way. You will understand that, damn, maybe someday I might want to open a business. But by me walking around saying I don't support black business and me having this emotion of hate towards black business, nobody's going to support my business. So why should I take the time to open one when I'm not going to get the support? It's out there. And then people say, I only support the good black businesses, but you support the bad white businesses, as well as the good ones, as if there is no white bad business. So when people say that shit, I look at them like they're stupid. So there's no such thing as a bad white business? And it's crazy. So, looking at what we do to each other when it comes to business, you can see why we are in the position and why you have few people have the urge and the spirit to go out and be entrepreneurs, to go out and make money. I made personal economics to try to help with that, to get people to understand that it's possible. But one of the things I said in the video, and it's sad to say it, is do not depend solely on black folks, because you're not going to get the support. Sorry to say it, but it's the truth. So when I put up a couple weeks ago, I think it was, talking about people complaining about the prices on the videos. And I'm like, I'm shocked by it, because you don't have to buy the videos at all. It's just not something that is like an electric bill that you have to buy, So the price is what it is. And it's due to me not being, the white man and having, production companies and being able to cut costs, because I got 10 million people buying my stuff. If I got 10 million people buying, I could sell it for, $2 and be fine. That's not the case. Got people to pay, including the fact that, one, a lot of people don't understand how long it takes to do this. If you have ever edited video, then you get it. A lot of people look at the time of the video and think that's how long it takes you to make the video, when you can look it up for yourself. I mean, to edit 1 hour of film, if you're putting in pictures and doing color correction or what have you, it takes hours. So it takes me a day, 24 hours to finish one of these DVDs. Then not to mention the time to record it. And then what people don't understand, another thing is I have to specifically pick out pictures that's not copyrighted, because I was almost sued. I had to go through this whole thing with somebody who was trying to sue me over a picture I was using. So I have to make sure that I can use the picture. If I want to use the picture and it's copyrighted, I gotta get permission. I gotta wait on that. I'm serious, which is one of the reasons why when I start putting them on YouTube, they just start taking them down. And then now it's like they try to monitor what I put out and then skim through my videos to try to find something to sue me over, it seems. But it's painstaking. It's a lot of work. And if you put in that kind of work on something, for somebody to look at you and say, it's not worth $40, let you put in a day of work. You go to work for 8 hours and let somebody tell you your 8 hours of work is not worth $40. When I put in 24 hours and some change, almost 2 days, not to mention, designing the covers and getting it ready and everything like that. Not to mention all that. And you let somebody tell you it's not worth $40, $29.99. I mean, it's crazy. So this is what I'm talking about. There's so many things out here we can look at and say cost too much. But people are not going to go and write the CEO of that company and say your product costs too much. It's a lot of stuff that we've seen that we couldn't afford or thought was too much. We didn't go and write the CEO of the company or the manufacturer and say, hey, this is too much. Nigga shit. They only do it when black people do it. People in the comment section. So this is what I mean when I say the emotion of hate. The emotion of not wanting to support your own people. For a person to take the time to go in the comment section and say something negative, and it's like, okay, at the end of the day, what am I doing wrong? What did I do? I tried to sell something, so I'm hated because I tried to sell something? Think about that. I mean, it's crazy. This is what we go through. It's taking too long for it to come. Give me my money back. The kind of emails I get from people, you would think a person who bought your stuff is supporting you. But then when something is too long or too late, the type of email you get is like, well, damn. It's crazy. It's crazy. But this is the brainwashing. I'm conscious enough to understand. I get it. I understand what's happening to people. I understand why they react that way. I understand what has been done to us to cause us to have these feelings. So to me, I can look back and say, okay, they on some nigga shit. They on some white man training stuff. And it is what it is. So I try to respond accordingly and try to reassure people the problem is going to be fine. These are the type of things you're going to have to deal with, being an entrepreneur. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of people are afraid to do it. And it's sad that people are scared to deal with their own people when it comes to business. But this is the type of stuff that happens. And again, you have a lot of issues and problems with some black businesses because, one, you are used to dealing with white companies and buying from the white man that can afford to be efficient and afford to be on point. And they're not always, but they can afford to be and afford to make stuff at a low price. If you Walmart and you got 6,000 stores, I mean, you can afford to make stuff low because you have millions of people, hundreds of millions of people buying from your stores. You get the cut. You're making enough money, so it's not a problem to put stuff on sale and have rollbacks and stuff like that. We all can't do that. So people trying to put us in this seat, the same seat as the white man when it comes to business, when we're not equipped to do that. But if we had more support, then we can do that. So we talk about things getting better with black businesses. We can only see that if more people support black business. It's just that simple. But that emotion and feeling that they created is you don't want to see another black person shit on you. You don't want to make a black person rich because you think he's just trying to play you and shit on you. And it's crazy. You are destroying your children's future and your own future and dooming yourself to be forever an employee of some white man. So when we keep, saying I don't support black business, we have created that atmosphere. Plain and simple. We have created it, and it's here, and it's out there, and it exists now, and it is what it is. And everybody got their own unique story of how some black business did something crazy as to the reason why they'll never again support a black business. I mean, this is ridiculous, as if white people have never done this. Black folks, we get the hammer from our own people. And I keep hearing all the excuses and everything. You can't justify that. That's some shit the white man created within you that you don't know how to control yet. Just that simple. But, the solution to that problem and looking at, the whole situation and saying, hey, how are we going to get these people in power? Don't we need to vote? What can we do? That's it. Until we get economically strong enough to support a real, true black politician, nothing's going to happen. And then you got to think about that whole point in, almost every single black politician we put in power turns on us. And then you got to look at the fact that even if we do get a black politician in office, do you think he's actually going to be allowed to do anything that's going to help black people out? So, next that, as I said before, the number one thing that you can do to assure progress as a people is to have business. It's universal because, plain and simple, they can't touch or fuck with the fact that people fuck with you. Plain and simple. So to put it like this, you can hate me all you want. You can say whatever you want about me, but you can't stop those 100,000 people from buying my stuff. They want it, they're going to come get it. If you kill me, my kid will take over. Plain and simple. My family will take over the business. We still going to sell. You can't stop that. You can't stop it. So if you have the product, if you have the business, if you have the people supporting you, there's nothing nobody can do about that. Plain and simple. Business is universal. And they want to stop the business. Creating these emotions and feelings of hating on your own people and not wanting support, no matter what it is, including people that's trying to help you out, is the agenda that we just bought in hook, line, and sinker, just like we did with religion and everything else. Hence, we are where we are because of it. Plain and simple. So, people hate. So, I try to talk about stuff that I go through. I talked about the whole IRS thing and them basically shut my shit down. And 600,000 in about a week. You had people that was mad at me for that. I'm like, how you mad at me because I make 600,000? What you mad for? You should be happy, because this is going to go in some way towards our future, helping us out. So even if I look at it in the sense that if I can make 20, 30, 50, how many people bought personal economics? If I can make all them millionaires, are you kidding me? What that do for us as a people? And, so many people is doing well from that series. If I can put something out that's going to make a bunch of black people entrepreneurs and succeed and be successful, that's great. That means everything to me. So again, when I see people sending me the emails and talking about them coming up, I'm happy. No hating my bones for what they've done or how much money they made. So people who got these emotions and feelings and, don't want to support and want to keep pushing this whole hate, when it comes to their own people and the progress that we have economically, it's ridiculous. So, we already have that uphill battle, to deal with our own people, let alone putting somebody in power, throwing money at them to the point where we're okay with what he does. It's not going to happen. Happened with Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson. They got a lot of support from black people only to turn on us. Heard a lot of those stories, by the way. We're going to get into that at some point. A lot of black folks supported them, and here we are. Now, people done caught on now, which is why we don't see them as much as we used to. But we have notoriously supported the wrong people because they were in the position of mainstream. We're still doing that today with these movie stars, these entertainers. We're still doing that. And it's crazy. The entrepreneur, the black person that's fighting hard and really, hoping that black people will support them. They getting shade, they getting talked about, criticized at every single turn. And you have this excuse, oh, we only hard on black people because we black and we got to look good and we demand excellence as black people. Man, that's bullshit. Because you don't demand it from the white folks, and they got way more stores than we do, way more businesses than we do, and you say nothing. So yeah, again, we're voting. Yes, people say we should vote on a local level. Shouldn't we vote on a local level? What about the local level? We've been voting on the local level. What has changed? Come on, man. And people really think that they sound intelligent when they say stuff like this. It's stupid. Look at the history. We've been voting on the local level, but as I said before, do you honestly believe, even if we put somebody in at the local level, that he is going to be allowed to do something to change the black community that these people has worked so hard to keep you in? We're still there. We still think it's cool. Some people don't ever want to leave, and they think it's a problem if you do leave. It's a trap, plain and simple. And with everything going on, the fact that I'm still seeing, black folks kill black folks, tell you something how lost we is. Just had a friend, killed not too long ago, shot 11 times in his car. He's somebody that I never thought that would happen to where it happened at, because he's like kind of a big deal around there. Dead and gone for what? 11 times. It's crazy. It's crazy to still see, after everything we've been seeing, us do this to each other. So we got a lot of stuff to overcome before we even deal with other problems. This sickness with the, this culture. Kill somebody for looking at you funny. all that stupid shit. We got to deal with that, with all that still. The fact that people would rather support the people that's destroying them rather than the people that's trying to uplift them and help them. We still got a lot to deal with before we think about a politician. Even if he got his foot in the door, it's so much, internal stuff that we have to deal with as a people before we can even accept them. Because it's going to be criticism when they get in anyway. What are you doing with this money? What's going to happen with that money? How come this ain't happening? How come y'all ain't fixing this? And come on, the local level. It's not a person that can do anything. But again, you had Obama. And we're never going to forget that shit. Black man, highest seat in the world, supposedly. Nothing. Not even when we was being killed. That should tell you something. When we were at the most scared point that we've been in a long time, to where niggas was afraid to get in a car and drive. You drive by a cop door and you was shook daddy. Because it's like, damn, is this cop racist? Is he going to kill me? During this time when we was in crazy fear, we got a black man in the White House. Nothing. As soon as a white person go and commit another terrorist act, they want to take guns. Nothing when black people getting killed by cops. Nobody want to change the use of deadly force for these cops and change the laws and upgrade them. But as soon as some white folks get killed in some terrorist attack by another white person, take away the guns. Y'all gotta look at this stuff. I mean, it's not rocket science. Shit is easy. It's a game. A lot of people getting caught up in it. A lot of people jumping in and out of consciousness and understanding what's taking place versus entertainment. You're dealing with the entertainment part of it, not really seeing, the truth, what's really taking place. As I said, we got to deal with both sides of the coin. White folks only got to deal with one. They get to enjoy the hip hop music, but not really be affected by it. We can enjoy it, but we're also being destroyed by it. Plain and simple. So it's a lot we got to look at, a lot we got to deal with. And I try, with everything that I'm doing personally, to keep the videos going, keep putting out information, try to get it to a point to where I think I put out enough for the month. But as always, questions and things that I haven't touched on, and a lot of stuff I still want to talk about. But I try to get out as much information as possible. And I appreciate the support from the many people that have supported, contrary to all the haters out there. The support has been more than ever, a lot of new subscribers, over 62,000 now, which is good, considering I never thought I'd get that much. But the information is good, and that's one of the things I can stand behind, is what I put out, and the fact that I know you're not going to find it too many places, because one, a lot of people just don't think along these lines that we think of. Right when I thought it was only me, I get the emails from people and I see that a lot of us do think alike, and it keeps me going. It keeps me putting out this type of information. But and as I said, I can't answer all the questions, but the emails I do read, I do take into consideration. But voting, again, like we just forget that we've been through this before, last year and the year before that, and it seems like every year every time when it's election time or presidency is getting ready to come into effect, black folks just forget about the years before. Like, what the fuck? Like, what just happened? We got tricked when Obama came, and people were like, oh, wait a minute, let me see what this is. Because from what I know, ain't no way in the hell these white folks gonna let this black man in the White House. So when he got in, this is why people was emotional, because they thought, damn, maybe everything that I thought was some bullshit. Maybe we actually do have a shot. Maybe I was wrong about everything and I'm really just a conspiracy theorist. Now we got a black man in here. No way this brother is not going to stick up for us and put us where we need to be. But you was wrong. You was mistaken. It's bullshit. And the reason why Obama didn't do nothing for black folks is because black folks wasn't the ones that put him in power. Contrary to what you believe about the voting numbers and all that shit don't make no sense. It's bullshit. The Jews put him in power. It's just that simple. Anybody who follows Obama knows he's Wall Street and that the Jews were backing him. Plain and simple. The reason why he didn't do shit for you, because you didn't do shit for him, and you wasn't the money and the power that put him in that position. It was the Jews, plain and simple. And these were Jewish interests, same people that's running everything. To me, it's not about doing something that's going to be within the confines of this system. It's doing something outside of it, especially when you look at the fact that we have trillion dollar buying power. You know, we can make our voice heard business wise. We can do things business wise. The reason why these other countries do what they do is business. Plain and simple. You put money in their pockets. It's business. We can't even speak economically. We are poor, you know, economically. So we have to have aid provided to us. And the people who's providing that aid has become our mouthpiece. Plain and simple. So you're working for those people. They're giving you welfare. You have no economic structure of your own to do anything for them or reciprocate. So it's like, you know, whatever. I give you what I can get away from me. And that's where we at. That's where we at. So we're not nowhere near up there. These people had hundreds of years on us. And we had a chance, you know, but the culture destroying us. And now they're smarter and they're making sure the people that do get these corporations and companies that got a piece of it, or they're controlling it in some way, shape, or form. The way forward is economics. Can't say that enough. It's not just a popular thing that black folks are saying is conscious. It's the truth. It's fucking economics. It's just that simple. It's common sense. Like, what's wrong with y'all? This country is not here. This country does not exist to take care of poor niggas. Plain and simple. We just gonna put a black person in power and he gonna rise black people up and lead us to the promised land. You think they gonna let that shit happen? This country caters to the corporation. Plain and simple. It's fascist. Companies can buy position, power. They don't care about your poor black ass. Plain and simple. It caters to the corporation. So if you're not a corporation or a company that got money and power, you can't do anything. You got no influence. Plain and simple. We don't got that. So, you know, even skip all the Illuminati bullshit and all that stuff. Skip all that. And just look at it from strictly a power economic standpoint, to where no matter what secret society or no matter what they can do, when you got the money, when you got the power, the influence of people, that's what they want. That's what it's about. So, one, we running everything already. As I talk about, consciously. Everybody follows us. Everybody is making money off of us but us. And that's what it is. So it's almost like, damn, we got to keep on, you know, keeping the scam going before these black people figure out that we're scamming them. And that's what it's about. 24/7, keeping the scam on the black people going. That's what everybody's doing. Keeping the scam going. Everybody's eating off of us, but us. Keep that scam going. Keep blinding them with entertainment. Keep blinding them with basketball and rap, stupid TV shows, so they never figure out that we eating off of these people. I mean, that's what it is. That's what they're doing. We got our back turned and we worry about so much stupid shit. Everybody's making money off of us but us. When somebody want to try to be a boss and do something, they don't get the support. So, you know, again, economics. Talk to them fucking blue. It's economics. And until we understand that, we're not going to get nowhere. Plain and simple. You know, I don't understand how any other way to put it. We're not just going to vote somebody into power that's going to do something for us economically. We're too far behind, man. It's crazy. People don't understand this. We so far back. And it kills me when I hear people say they don't support black business, because it's like, damn, when we get somebody, a brother, sister, who figured a way to climb out of that situation to try to, you know, help towards the goal, that's why they call it crabs in the barrel. Pull you right back. I ain't never seen so much hate in my life as I seen when it comes to black people, black entrepreneurs, you know, trying to do business with other black people. That shit is nasty. It's crazy. And something that we gotta stop. And it gotta get dealt with. And we gotta understand that, you know, those, whatever you feeling, whatever that is, was created for you to feel it. for you to have that moment of whatever it is that you feel when a black person trying to sell something, whatever the fuck that is. It's the craziest hate situation. It's like, what's going on? So one of the things I always try to do when I see black people, I mean, not everybody can do this, and as I said before, I realize not everybody can afford $40 and $29.99 for the video. But what I have done is I have sales all the time to where you can get all the videos for $89.99, or all of the videos, you can get them all. I've done that. I've done those sales. So for the people who complain about price, I've done those sales. I still do those sales. And do they support? Do they buy it? So it's not about price. It's about the hate. It's about black people not seeing another black person's worth on the same par as white folks. That's what it is. Black people selling it, it's not as legit as white folks. I'm not going to make this important, as I make white people selling shit important, So when people see stuff to them, it's like, it's black person selling it, so what? Nothing to get excited about. This is how people feel. And it's crazy to me. It's like, damn, all that. What am I doing wrong? Just selling something. Just like every other race, everybody else is doing. It's crazy. But as I said, not everybody can afford to support and afford to do things. But whenever I see a black entrepreneur doing something, I try to make sure I support and I buy something. If I see it, if I can get it, I get it. Just because I want to support that black person. Especially when I see a lot of festivals I go to and I see black vendors, I always go to the black vendors and try to buy from them, before I go anywhere else. I'm doing business right now with a lot of black folks, a lot of black entrepreneurs I'm doing business with in so many different ways. And it was one of the things that I'm implementing into the website that I'm still working on, by the way, to get all these people in the same umbrella and to get all these resources, that's black resources, to black folks, so we can support our own one, but we can have these resources away from everything else. That way the majority of the black money is going into the hands of black people, plain and simple. And that's important to me, because until we do that, it's game over. Forget everything you're talking about, forget your spooky god or what have you. We are done without this. So, to answer the questions of people, because we touched on this before, people wondering about voting and everything. A lot of people jumped on the bandwagon because you had celebrities popping all over Instagram and popping all over the place talking about voting and celebrities coming out saying vote and everything like that. Come on. And people just jumping on that bandwagon, taking pictures for the gram. They're going down to the voting booth to take a picture for the gram and to get a fucking button or sticker. That's what it was about. People getting gram pictures and getting buttons and stickers for the gram so they can take a picture. I voted. Come on. This is what it has become. It's bullshit. It's not going to do nothing. And we already know it because we did it before and it done nothing. There's nothing really to argue about here. For real. It's bullshit. My personal economics series was to give people the opportunity to be where I'm at or to be better than where I'm at. And that's what it's about for me. As many black folks as possible to get this stuff out here. And it was simple, basic stuff that you can do now, stuff that you can do in a year. Had that whole 2-year, 1-year plan to where you can just really put yourself in a really good position. And people have done it already, less than a year. People have done it and are doing it or are on the right path to do so. Not everybody's going to be able to go far fast, but I made the series so you can basically start from just having a regular job and really no money to being somewhere, depending on how hard you're willing to work and what you're willing to sacrifice, which is going to be the key. What you're willing to sacrifice. So it's up to people to really understand how important it is to be your own boss, to be an entrepreneur down the road, if you can't do it right now. So this is what it's going to be. It's not going to be voting somebody in. It's going to be black economics. Period, point blank. Many videos I talked about this before. I got into this subject before. But it's important, especially since for some reason people are still on the subject. But it's important. And you're going to see the haters. You're going to see the people who don't want to support you. You're going to see the people that's going to criticize every little thing that you do, any problems you may have, and the fact that you, even though it is your business and you own it, you can't control every single facet. It's going to be things that's going to be outside of your control. Shipping problems and employee problems and, what have you. So you're going to have people come at you, and you only can do what you can do. It is what it is. But, don't let nothing deter you from moving forward. But I really appreciate the support from everybody, and definitely going to keep doing what I do, and you'll see a lot more from me, of course. But I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch, and thanks to everybody who's been supporting, and I'll see you guys next video.